Hello and welcome to another update video. Today we want to cover Apecoin. Ape, yeah, I've had some requests about Ape, probably because we see a few green candles down there. But if you look at the chart as a whole, you can still see that we're making lower highs and lower lows. So at the moment there is no reliable sign in place that it is bottoming out at the moment, yeah. And on top of that, if we look at it from an Elliott Wave point of view, my concern is that we topped out in 3 waves in 2022. So we basically only had a 3-wave structure to the upside, a corrective wave structure to the upside, which is now resulting in an impulse to the downside most likely. Yeah? You see that even clearer on the log chart. So if I put that onto the log chart, the best I can give you here is my view that this is a wave 1 to the downside. We moved up in a 2 to the upside. We could now be looking at a 3 to the downside, a 4 and a 5. Yeah, this is probably the best I can give you, to be honest, because we have no sign of a trend reversal yet. So unless we see an impulsive price action to the upside, yeah, it's going to get a bit difficult, you know, unless we really see that 5 waves up, 3 waves down. And then it all depends on the context, because the way I look at this at the moment, unless we break above the $7.90 level, I'm going to go with this count, which will tell you as well that if we get above $7 and what was it, 7.9? No, probably $7.70. If we get above that level, we could consider something more bullish. But the problem is that probably my first or my primary expectation would still be that everything we're doing at the moment, due to the price structure, is just going to be corrective, because it could very well be that wave 2 is still ongoing. Yeah, we haven't retraced enough to max out what the wave 2 can do. So looking at the structure, it could easily be that this was the A wave, because it's 3 waves to the upside. We had a wave B to the downside, basically an expanded flat could happen here, or a running flat. So the B wave basically did go below the beginning of the A wave. So it could either be a so-called expanded flat, where the C wave will go above wave A, or it could be a running flat where the C wave goes below the A wave. All in all, whatever happens here, it's not really an attractive chart. Yeah, even though this might give us some upside potential, and it doesn't really change if I'm looking on the log chart or not. This doesn't really make a difference. I think with these charts though, which aren't really doing too much, sometimes the log chart gives a better view. But yeah, you know, in an expanded flat, we would probably even be looking at targets for the C wave of $7.27. That's the 1-to-1 ratio, or even, and that's what I mean, even if we break above that $7.80 level, yes, we might consider bullish options a little bit stronger, but in the end, mainly the focus would lie on the bear count here, the bearish count, because the 1.618 extension would still be a viable target for a wave 2 at $10.13. Yeah, so this is the 1.618 extension. Only really above that level we would have to focus more on the bullish count. And in the end, it suggests currently more short-term upside, because here, that's why I consider this a C wave. It's because we have 5 waves to the upside down here. So we've got a 5-wave move to the upside, so we can consider something impulsive to the upside at the moment, and that could very well be a C wave. What we don't know with this C wave is if it's going to be a running flat, so we might just reach here the 727 level and then break down, or if it's going to be an expanded flat, which could reach the $10.13 level. This is what we don't know. It all depends on, do we break above this pivot point? Do we break above this wave A high at 773, basically 780 or whatever it is? Yeah, plus minus a few cents, they don't matter. Prices are too dynamic. It's more of a price range here. But what you can tell because of this is that if we push higher, which I think we will now, at least we've got 5 waves up. This is a resistance area now, from that fib level all the way to the wave A high. That's what we need to get above, and if we get above that, target would be $10.13, the 1.618 extension. And from here, I would then expect a wave 3 to the downside, unless we push above it. So when can we actually say that it's bottomed? Well, we could say that if we see now in this if this C wave is going to play out as 5 waves. So let's say we've got a wave 1 here, we come down in 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we move up in 5 waves, and let me show you the bullish count. So let's say we move up in 5. Yeah, let me make the blue count. The bullish count is the blue count. And then we don't break down in a 3rd wave. So the 3rd wave would be another 5 wave move down. But if we see something like that, so if we see an A, B, C to the downside in the blue count, which would be just basically a corrective wave pattern. We move up in an impulse, we come down in a correction. That would be the bullish count. That is when, you know, we move up, we finish this count, then we wait for the retracement. And if we come down and hold a certain support level, which I cannot define yet, because I don't know how high will wave C really go. But the point is, if we see 5 waves up, that's the first indication in Elliott Wave that a trend has shifted. And if we see 5 waves up, this could only be a C wave, which is part of a corrective wave pattern, which would eventually make a lower low, or it can be an impulse and it indicates the trend has shifted. And if the trend is shifted, then we always need to wait for the ABC correction to confirm. It's always the upcoming correction afterwards that will be the stress test for any bullish scenario. So if we are going to hold here, whatever, the 50% retracement, 61.8% retracement, that is when I would confirm that Apecoin has most likely bottomed. At the moment, the preference and primary expectation has to be this count, that we are moving higher now in a C wave. And I gave you the targets for that, yeah, and then we'll come down and make lower lows until the price changes trend. We have, as I said, we have 5 waves up, yeah, and interestingly, you could draw something like a, descending wedge, which is actually quite an obvious one here. So let me see if we can actually, or is it not really a wedge pattern, it's more a channel, maybe a slight wedge. Well, it seems like it's breaking out to the upside. I think we had a bit of a wedge on the, no, not really on the log chart, we didn't. So yeah, it seems like we are breaking currently here to the upside. We haven't broken out substantially yet, but that is the first signal that things might be shifting here to the upside. Yeah. Let me just see, go to the 4-hour chart. So we haven't broken it yet, but it seems like we're consolidating at the moment. We don't really get a strong rejection as we had here. So if we break above this channel, would be the first indication that we are indeed moving up in the C wave. Then we could reach that resistance area here. And if we do, that will be the first pivot point. Yeah, we could turn around here. If we break it, we can get to that roughly $10 level that I mentioned. Yeah, but first of all, we need to break above this wedge. All in all, it's not a really attractive chart, guys. There are much better charts out there, in my opinion. So I don't see any reason to trade Apecoin if there's a Chili's, which is probably going to turn around soon. If there's a BNB, which is currently in a support area. If there's an Ethereum, which is currently in a support area. If there's a GMX, which seems to be a beast. You know, why would I try to trade a coin which is sort of in a downtrend, which hasn't really broken out yet, which is where I'm just trying to catch the falling knife. And even if I go long here, it's most likely only going to be part of a corrective wave pattern, yeah. So that's my thoughts. Of course, you can trade it if you want to. We had a low in place here. We had a support area. Yeah, always pull back to a trend line. Well, we haven't broken out of this channel. If we do, you know where it's going, most likely. But then there will be a decision point where it's most likely going to come down. It would be pretty much in line with the Bitcoin count, where I also expect some short-term upside and then expect another lower low. Okay, and that's my update about Apecoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.